Welcome to the Bull and Bear Show, episode number 27, and I'm here with my co-host, Nash Cowboy. How you doing today, Nash?
Doing great. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing fantastic. Very excited to do this one-on-one special Thanksgiving episode with you, my friend. And we're going to talk about all the biggest breaking news of the day. And we're also going to hear about you, your story, how long you've been in the broadcasting world, your background, your history, and we're going to get a chance to do it one-on-one. So the first thing I want to talk about is the biggest breaking news of the day and the biggest breaking news of the week. And that is what happened with Binance. So the ex-Binance CEO, CZ, asks judge to allow him to leave the U.S. ahead of sentencing. And for anyone that doesn't know, CZ was the CEO of Binance, and Binance has essentially been fined $4.3 billion by the SEC. And CZ has been told he needs to resign, and he might have to spend 18 months in jail. Nash Cowboy, what do you think about this news?
We don't know everything that's going on with it. Obviously there's some inside stuff that we'll probably never know because a lot of stuff gets covered up with money. But it is what it is. I think he's taken one for the team, in my opinion. But it, there's got to be fines and there's possible jail sentence. I personally don't think he'll serve any jail time. Even if they say he's serving jail time, I don't believe he'd actually be doing it, especially with 4.3, what is it, billion dollars on the line.
4.3 billion dollars.
Yeah, so you can't tell me somebody that's gonna give them 4.3 billion dollars is gonna serve time in jail. I don't believe it for a second. Too many people are bought off.
He'll probably
So
be serving it from his house.
yeah, exactly, like house arrest or some shit.
That's what
Um,
I'm thinking.
yeah, I don't think it's as serious as they want to make it sound. Um, they try and make things look bigger than they are. So I don't think he'll serve
Absolutely.
time. Do I think they'll pay the money? Yeah. Uh, who knows where it's going to go though. I do think it's the possible downfall of Binance, though. Binance being the biggest exchange out there, you know, it could it could get bad for them. And
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, I don't think it's going to be that bad for them. I think they will recover, but
yeah,
it's definitely not good when on the first day that they announced this news, $1.3 billion was pulled off the exchange. So
yeah,
that's where they're getting hit. They're getting hit with people saying, wait, I don't know if I trust Binance anymore. Let me pull my money off this exchange, put it into Coinbase or put it on a ledger or put it on a hard wallet. And I think that's what's happening clearly because they said that there was 1.3 billion in outflows immediately after the news broke.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, if I've never used Binance, because I just use crypto.com, which is what I started off with. And it's just been so much easier. Like I've tried different things like Trust Wallet, and that was a nightmare to like do all the exchanges and stuff on it. Hated it. Um, and other than that, I do have a Coinbase account. But I got it years ago and never did anything with it. So I got to figure out all the ins and outs. I probably will start using Coinbase once I figure out how to get on there and operate it.
I think Coinbase is
Because
really good. It was actually the first crypto exchange I ever used was Coinbase, and it's
yeah,
still around to this day. They've been able to get through a lot of problems, even with the SEC, and they're the only exchange that is regulated. So one of the issues I've had with Binance since day one is it was never regulated. So who
yeah,
knows if these guys were doing weird things? And I think one of the things that they got charged with was wash trading. So I don't know if you know what wash trading is, but like let's say I own an exchange and I'm doing the buying and I'm doing the selling. That's called wash trading. So I'm literally
yeah,
buying something and then selling it to create volume. And then they do
yeah,
that so other traders see the volume and then they jump in. It's called wash trading. It's fully illegal. But
Yeah.
in crypto, because it's not regulated, people do it. And I
Mm.
think that's one of the things that he did. And that's why he's come out and he's admitted to making mistakes. He hasn't even denied up admitted. He's gone on X, formerly Twitter, and come out and said, I made mistakes. I apologize. I'm going to resign. So I think it's going to save Binance. And like you said, he's taking one for the team, no doubt about it, right? I'm sure other people were involved, and he's probably putting all the pressure on himself, handling and taking it all. And if it's only going to be 18 months and the company succeeds and survives, it's still going to come out as one of the biggest exchanges, if not the biggest exchange in the world. And I'm sure he's tucked away billions of dollars, so he's going to be fine.
Oh yeah,
Right?
absolutely.
So at the end of the day, I think it's going to work out fine. But what I do think this does is it makes Coinbase, in my opinion, the number one exchange in the world. Because if people are going to have any doubts about Binance and all the big, like the BlackRocks and the big organizations and institutions that are in America have decided that they're already going to use Coinbase for custody of their Bitcoin, I think this just automatically makes Coinbase number one. And I think this is going to mean that Coinbase and Coinbase's stock is going to absolutely explode. So I say buy Coinbase. And the Coinbase stock has gone from $30 to $116 this year. So it's already done extremely well. And I believe that this is going to potentially be what it needs to take it to the next level. What do you think? Do you think that this will be really
Well,
bullish for Coinbase?
I do, especially since, BlackRock backs Coinbase. Um, and it's now that they're getting into the whole spot ETF world with Bitcoin and Ethereum. And of course, that will be on Coinbase. So Coinbase could very well be the largest exchange. Um,
Yeah.
I don't think that BlackRock's backing Coinbase for no reason. Multi-trillion dollar company is definitely got a whole lot of inside information that we don't know about. And as far as that goes, they have, if anybody could make it the biggest exchange, it's BlackRock. I mean, let's face the facts.
Yeah. I
So
mean, they're worth like
in
$10 trillion.
in my opinion, BlackRock has something to do with the SEC going after these other exchanges. Of course, it's just opinion. I have nothing to back it up, but it sure seemed to be that way.
I think they call it cleaning the swamp, right?
Yeah.
Cleaning the swamp. Isn't that what Trump calls it?
Yeah.
Cleaning the swamp. Well, you know what? That's the biggest news of the week. Huge week, and everyone's talking about the news. Binance, largest crypto exchange in the world, CEO resigning after admittedly, I think he's being charged with what was it?
Yeah.
Anti-money laundering activities. I think that's what they called it. So I think he took a plea bargain. I think it was going to be way worse. I think he took a plea bargain. He admitted to it, took less of a sentence, less of a charge, so that and paid probably more of a fine so that he could get off. But a
Oh,
$4.3 billion fine for Binance. And that was the biggest news of the week in a week where crypto and Bitcoin continue to go higher and continue to go and prove that they are the asset for us to invest in right now because they performed
yeah.
extremely well. Bitcoin's up well over 100% this year. Ethereum is doing well. I personally just sold a little bit of my Ethereum just yesterday, taking some profits off the table. We got King Earl in the chat room. Hey Earl, how you doing? Thank you for being here. We appreciate your support, brother. And thank you for doing the one-on-one with us 2 weeks ago. And today we got Nash's one-on-one. And my first question for you today, Nash, is who is Nash Cowboy?
Oh, Nash Cowboy is a complicated man. Um, first and first and foremost, I'm a single dad of six, and that in itself is a struggle.
Woo, single dad of
Uh,
6. Dad of the year
so
right there.
yeah, and second, there will never be anything that gets in the way of that. Not money, not relationships, not nothing, because that is me. I'm a single dad of six, and that makes it a struggle. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, there are some very hard times when you have six kids and you don't have any help whatsoever. So, um, but that's life. you make choices throughout life, and you gotta man up and be a dad at that point, especially after 6. I never thought I would be divorced, and things just happen. My ex-wife wasn't faithful by no means, and went down a bad path. So I had to climb out of a very dark place because, she got the house, she got a business that we had. Um, and then I thought everything would be okay because I was working construction. Well, then I lost my construction contact that I was subcontracting under, and things got really dark for a while there. So, um, back in the day when I was growing up, when I say growing up, I don't think anybody's grown up until they're 25-ish. But in my early 20s, I was homeless in Chicago, and I built myself up out of that. I said, I am not going to stay in this place, because one thing Nash Cowboy is he isn't a quitter. All right. So I will work whatever it takes to get out of a position. Right now, I'm in construction. I'm into social media. I drive Uber sometimes. I take every side job I can get, 70 plus hours a week, you know, whatever it takes for me and my children not to struggle. I don't accept any government help, um, because I believe as long as I'm physically capable of doing something, I shouldn't try and milk the system. The system's set up to make people fail, in my opinion. And whatever it takes for me not to be in the system and dependent on the system, I'm going to do. So I'm the guy that refuses to fail. From when I was put in that bad position after I lost my wife, my house, my job, a business that I had, you know, when it was my time to have the kids, it was a very bad struggle at first. I had to move in with some friends in a little cabin that they had. You know, I was back to almost being homeless again. I mean, my kids are going to be able to tell a story when they're older that, there was a time that dad had it so bad that we had to shit in a bucket. All right.
Yeah,
And
that's
dad
rough.
struggled, and dad got out of that, and he built himself up, and now dad's wealthy, and that's going to teach my kids a lesson. I'm doing good now. I'm not rich by no means, not yet, but I'm gonna be. And I struggled and pushed and pushed and pushed and got out of that situation, worked every job I could, and that's who Nash Cowboy is, because Nash Cowboy refuses to fail. God gave me a gift with the breath of life every single day. And I refuse to take a single day and not learn something from that day to better myself. I refuse to do that. So every
Man,
person I come across, I try and learn something from them.
you know what,
And
man? You bringing six children into this world, that is a blessing in itself, my man. I got 2 kids, and that's the
absolutely,
biggest blessing I have in my life. I always tell my kids,
you
it's like,
know,
if I didn't have kids, I really wouldn't have any purpose here on this earth right now. Kids give me purpose, to give me direction. I only have 2, and those 2 have given me so much good times and so many blessings that it's I can't even put words on it. So I can't even imagine timesing that by another 2, 3 times. Like, you have 6 kids. So that's just 6 blessings, 6 hugs, 6 smiles. So those are blessings upon blessings, my friend. And you've already been blessed. You probably just don't even realize it because you're so busy
oh,
being a dad and so busy working and supporting them and feeding them. You don't probably think about all the amazing, amazing things that you're bringing into this world, because those 6 kids, those are 6 kids that one day could also have children. So I was watching a show yesterday, and this guy was 69 years old. He has 18 grandkids. And I was like, wow, can you imagine having 18 grandkids? That is like blessings upon blessings upon blessings. I only have 2 kids. I'll probably never have 18 grandkids. Very, very unlikely. So I just think kids are like
Yeah.
probably one of the greatest blessings on earth. And because you've been blessed with 6 kids, in my opinion, my friend, you are rich. You are very
Oh,
wealthy.
absolutely.
6 kids makes
Yeah,
you, in my opinion, extremely wealthy, extremely rich. You've got
absolutely.
some people can't even have 1 kid. You have 6. That to
Yeah.
me is the epitome of true wealth, true happiness, my friend. So, congratulations on all your success. And I know your hard work is going to pay off, my friend. I know we love having you on
Yeah.
this show. Now, the next topic I want to talk about is this right here. This right here is the next topic. So, Bitcoin price prediction as Bitcoin surges above 38,000 for the first time since 2022 is $40,000 next. What do you think, Nash Cowboy? We going to 40K?
45,000 is next.
45,000?
Absolutely.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
45,000 is the next mark it's going to hit. It's going to be just a minute before it pushes there. I still think there's going to be a little slow go through December, possibly even a little dip. But after that, it's game on, man. After that, it's kicking a field goal. Like, I do think there will be a little dip right before the halving, and then, whew, I mean, if you look back at the last Bitcoin halving in an accumulation year, and this is actually every Bitcoin accumulation year, there's a little dip. We've talked about Rocktober. I told you there was going to be a pump there. There was a pump there. It's happened every single time like clockwork in an accumulation year. Little dips in November and December, but still in the positive. And then I think the next dip after that will be right before the halving a little bit. Some people are going to sell off because they know there's going to be people buying in like crazy, and it's just going to go parabolic from there. But I think that 45,000 is our next mark, and we'll see what happens on that.
Okay. Hey, listen, I'd be really, really happy if it hits 45,000. I'll tell you right now, I will be super,
We
super
we
happy.
almost felt like if we were at a point a couple days ago that if it would have printed another red candle, it would have fallen. It was very close. It was teetering on that line, and thankfully it picked up and found that support to pull it back up to where it wouldn't fall.
All right. Well, let me get into our next question. So, my next question for you in this one-on-one with you is why did you start trading? Everyone has their own story.
Mm.
What's your story? What got you into trading, specifically cryptos?
So I'm constantly challenging myself, Rich, and new things. And I've never been computer savvy. All right. I've always had to work. I dropped out of school when I was 16 to help take care of my grandma. And after that, it was just, she passed away a couple years later. And then it was work, 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 and struggle and work. And like I said, I was homeless before. I had to struggle to get out of that situation. Uh, and it was always about work and trying new things and taking risks. Um, and Here's a good example. This book right here. I don't get paid anything for promoting this, but this is Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Great book.
Amazing book.
Great book.
All
One of the
right.
best, one of my favorite books, and one of the first books I ever read as an entrepreneur.
So I read that book. Have you read his other one, Cash Flow Quadrant? That's a
I
good book
have.
too.
Yes.
Um, so I read Rich Dad Poor Dad, and it opened my eyes to some new things about. I never really thought about the way money works before I read Rich Dad Poor Dad. And I always thought you just work hard, work hard, work hard, and save as much as you can, and this and that. I never thought about using debt. I never thought about making money work for itself and buying assets uh, instead of things that just pull your money away. Like I could go take out a loan for a brand new car right now, but it's not an asset. It's not going to make me any money. It's
Correct.
not going to make my money work for itself.
Correct.
So when I first got introduced to cryptocurrency, I started thinking, which I had heard a little bit about it, but I didn't know anything about it. So I got into trading crypto on a risk, and I didn't do well because I got in at the peak of the last bull market. All right. But no risk, no reward. All right. And I was buying all the way down. Like I'm like buying all the way down. But it was all about the risk for the reward. And I seen myself losing at first, and but that's why I got into it, was to see if there was something that I could do. And I've accomplished a lot of things in my life. And I mean, I've had several successful businesses, and the it was just one more thing to take a risk on to see if there was going to be a reward.
Well, I'm glad that you did, and I'm glad that you're in the game, man, because I know I absolutely love it. I've been in it since 2017, and I just sold $8,500 worth of crypto, and it feels great to know that I can do stuff that the average person doesn't know how to do. You know, I can sell
Yeah,
crypto, I can transfer it from my ledger into my trading account, I can trade with it, I can sell it and put it into my right into my bank account. And like I know for a fact that 95% of the world can't do that. That makes me feel
yeah,
good at night. It makes me feel smart to know, hey, there's
yeah,
something I know how to do that 95% of the world does not know how to do. They don't know how to do it. They don't want to know how to do it. They're confused about it. They just don't know where to start. I know how to do it. You know how to do it. I think that puts us ahead of the game. You know, my kids
absolutely.
are 15, 16. They don't know how to do it. It's something I'd like to teach them one day. You know, so it's just one of
Yeah,
those things where you're not born knowing how to trade crypto and how to buy
yeah,
and sell crypto and how to convert crypto and send it to other people and use it as payment. And it's something you have to learn. It's a skill, and it's a skill that you've developed and you've gathered. And I'm
yeah,
sure it's going to help you in the future. And it's helped me a lot. Like I said, you know, going into Christmas, and I just sold $8,500 worth of crypto, and I'm up this year over 50,000 Canadian just this year on my crypto. So why wouldn't I take a little off the table, right? And a
yeah,
lot of people are telling
absolutely.
me I probably sold too soon, and I probably have. But when your account is up 170% this year, I almost feel like it's greedy not to sell at least a little bit and take it off the table. And that's what I did.
Absolutely.
All right, so it goes to my next question. So here we're going into this next question right here. And the next question is money flowing into crypto. So huge money is flowing into crypto, and we are now bracing for a huge multi-trillion-dollar Wall Street earthquake amid Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and crypto price boom. Do you believe that this Bitcoin halving that's coming is going to be an absolute boom for all the top cryptos?
I do absolutely, and I think that the spot ETFs that are going to be coming out, it's pretty much non-negotiable at this point. They are coming out, and I think that that's going to kick off a lot. Like, it's unprecedented territory. There could be a plethora of money coming in. I mean, we have no idea what there is no limit. We don't know how much BlackRock's going to invest, Fidelity. We don't know how much any of them are going to invest. All we know is, in order for them to do that, they've got to own the Bitcoin and the Ethereum, and uh, so it's definitely going to put a lot of extra money that wasn't normally going to be coming into the markets. So it's it's going to be interesting to see how far it goes. All the numbers I come up with, I base just off of what Bitcoin has done in the past, other cryptos have done in the past. So everything above and beyond that, with the BlackRock investments, all of that is just a bonus on top of that.
Well,
But I do think there's a lot coming in.
right now we got Bitcoin on the screen. And since we've been doing this show, Bitcoin's been climbing. And when I started in Bitcoin in 2017, the price was 1,000. Today we're at 37,000. When we started our show, I think it was like 25 or 26,000. At that point in time, I said that, and you said yourself, we thought that October and November were going to be really good for Bitcoin. We all predicted it would get to 30,000 plus. I believe that you said and Earl said it would get over 35,000. We're at 37,000 now. October is coming to an end. It's going exactly as planned. And it's one of the reasons why I took some off the table, because I was like, man, it's up a lot. It's gone from 16,000 to 37,000. I might as well sell a little bit of crypto because I'm up so much. It'd be silly not to. It'd almost be feeling greedy not to. But I do believe, just like you, that it's going to go higher with the Bitcoin spot ETFs coming and with the Bitcoin halving coming in March. We got some huge catalysts coming. Now, my next question for you, my friend, for you personally, is what is your scariest moment as an investor or a trader?
Oh, so prior to getting into crypto trading, I had not done any kind of trading, no stocks, no nothing. So, or I did have a couple. I had like $100 on Amazon or something like that on M1 Finance, but I really hadn't done anything. And but getting in, like I said, I got in at the peak of the market. I bought Shiba Inu at the peak of the market, and it started going up a little bit, and I was getting excited, but that was only for like 2 weeks. And then it started coming down. And like I said, no risk, no reward. But being a single dad of six, I can't put a whole lot into it, especially at one time. So I'm buying $20, $50 here, $50 there, $20 here, but I'm buying it all the way down, like to the bottom. And there were times where I'm like, okay, this is not for me. And I'm thinking, what am I doing wrong? I see people making money. So then, it was just like, I was seriously thinking about getting out of it because it was scary to watch. I didn't have a lot in there, but I had a lot to me. 6 kids is expensive. So when you pull away from stuff and you start investing in anything, whether it be crypto or stocks or real estate or whatever, if you see it dropping drastically, because it dropped like 80%, it could get a little scary. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. There's no doubt about it. Now, my next question is, and this is from the news that I'm looking at right here. So we're going to change gears a little bit. We've talked about crypto for about half the show here. Now I want to talk about the war. So the war in Gaza and Israel and the Palestinians and the Hamas. So there's been a prisoner exchange, and Hamas has to free a new wave of hostages as truce silences the guns. So some hostages have come home, some Israeli hostages have come home, some hostages from Thailand have come home, a hostage from Philippines has come home, but they're doing a 3-to-1 swap. So for every one hostage that Hamas has, and I believe they have about 250 total, and they've given back, let's say, around 30 now, they want to release 3 Palestinians. What do you think about this? You think this is good for the war? Do you think this is bad that they're doing a 3-to-1? Do you think this is fair? Do you think this is going to lead to like an end to the war? Because obviously one of the reasons why the war is happening is because they wanted those hostages. So if these hostages all go back home, does that mean that the war ends? Like, what do you think about this?
My personal opinion on it is that it's a little bit of smoke and mirrors. And I think no, it's not fair. And I think that they're using hostages to buy a little time to regroup. I don't think they're going to stop. They haven't stopped for years. This isn't something new that's happened. So I think they're using the hostages as political stand, as money. I think it's all about regrouping and coming back at Israel. That's my personal opinion. I think they need to be stopped under any whatever it takes. And unfortunately, in war, there are innocent people that die on both sides. And it's a horrible thing. We just keep praying that, to protect the innocent, and that the death stops, because it is horrible. War is always a horrible thing. But when Israel gets attacked time and time and time again, I think they've had enough, and I don't think they're going to stop retaliating until it's over. It's come down to some pretty nasty things, and I mean, thankfully, there are some hostages released, some innocent people. I mean, God bless that, but I don't like the whole situation. There's definitely a lot of stuff going on that we don't know, and I just keep praying that peace comes soon, because there's way too much innocent bloodshed.
I agree with you 100%. So my next question for you personally is, what are your most, we've talked about your scariest moments as a trader. What are your most exciting moments as a trader so far?
So a little bit back into my scariest moments is, I'm thinking, what am I doing? Like, I see some people making money. What am I doing? And I was just taking advice from people. So I was like, you know what? I'm not computer savvy, but I'm going to get on this old thing right here, and I'm going to start researching. So I would I would designate at least 2 hours a night to just researching how crypto works, everything. And when that light bulb went off that there is a pattern to crypto, it's like, this is not as hard as I'm making it out to be. So I started getting excited. I'm like, okay, Bitcoin's following a 4-year pattern, and that accumulation year is coming up. And now that I'm at the bottom, or at least close to the bottom, we weren't quite there yet, but I knew it had to be getting close. I was like, okay, I got to buy as much as I can right now, because we're going to come out of this. Mathematically, statistically, this is just the cycle of cryptocurrency. And we're coming into an accumulation year at the time. And I'm like, all right, let's do this. Like, I can succeed at this. It's not as hard as I was making it out to be. A cornbread redneck like me can do it. And I'm going to do it. And I've seen people explaining, you can very easily be a millionaire if you make the right trades with the right coins, and you just reinvest and do it over and over and over again. Best case scenario, you could become a millionaire in 3 trades.
That's right. 3 trades, 10x.
4.
With
Yeah.
$1,000, you need one 10x
Yeah.
to turn 1,000 to 10,000, another 10x to turn 10,000 to 100,000, and then one more 10x to turn 100,000 to $1 million. 3 10x trades, which in crypto is very, very common.
Yes. So, and 4 trades if you started with $100. I mean, it's one of those things, like, we're not financial advisors. Nobody do something just based off what we say. Always do your own diligence, and research the coins that you're going to buy. I mean, obviously you have safeguards like Bitcoin. It's not going anywhere. And then you have altcoins, and Ethereum safe, things like that. And then they get a little more risky as they going down into the meme coins. There's some meme coins that have projects going. Always research the coin you hear about, whatever. And then it gets into super risky meme coins that are pump and dumps. But there's people that make money off of that. Try not to mess with that. But every once in a while, I will throw $20 at something that I'm almost positive is a pump and dump, and I'll try and get in and out. it doesn't really work for me, but that's my lottery ticket. Instead of going and buying a lottery ticket, I'll throw $20 at something like that, and maybe one day it'll hit. Who knows? But definitely, uh, that's where I'm at.
This is my next
Invest
topic.
as much
So
as possible.
Donald Trump has been in court nonstop. Legal experts see an uphill battle in his fraud case. Do you think that Trump's going to be able to get through this, man? Like, this is crazy. Like, I almost feel like bad for the guy. I mean, people are like, well, he's a criminal. He should go to jail. And I'm like, yeah, but this is a witch hunt. I mean, they're going after him because he's trying to become the next president. And it seems like he's got the Democrats and the left going after him because Biden's trailing in the polls. So they want Trump out of the way. So they're doing everything they can to try to stop this guy. And they're trying to destroy him financially by all these legal troubles. What do you think about this? Like, is enough of it? I feel like enough is enough. Like, they need to stop this and let the man just live his life. Do you think he's going to be able to get through this, or do you think this is going to take him down? Do you think this is going to destroy Trump, or do you think it's going to help him?
Well, let's put this in another scenario, okay? Donald Trump has been in an uphill battle since he started running for president the first time. Since he got in office, they have attacked him and come after him for everything that they could and couldn't find diddly squat on him. He's been on an uphill battle ever since he got in office the first time. I think he will come out of this. We may have a president that's being a president from behind bars.
Could you imagine?
Because
that would be
the whole
crazy.
The whole world
behind bars
is mostly for Trump at this point. They see how much Biden has destroyed the economy, and it's hard to buy groceries for most people right now. Gas thankfully is coming down a little bit right now. But good night. He's gotten us into wars, everything else. When Trump was in office, not a single war. I mean, it was a great time. It was the best time in my lifetime. Financially, everything.
People were doing too well, so they had to stop it. Everyone was flourishing, so they had to stop it. America was great. Yeah. Trump made America great again, so they had to stop him.
I think he'll pull out of this. The problem is they won't even let him speak in court. He starts to talk, and the judge is like, "I'm not here to hear what you got to say." Well, it's absolute BS. Yeah. It's illegal what they're doing. You want to talk about criminals? The whole justice system over there is doing all kinds of stuff. In the end, there's all kinds of people that need to be tried for trying to prevent an election. That's where I'm at. I'm just going to keep my prayers that things turn around and Trump comes out of this, because at this point the whole world needs him.
I agree with you. So speaking of picks, what are your top 10 picks for 2024?
Okay.
Let's go.
My top 10 picks.
Let's go.
Where did I write those down at? Oh, there they are. All right. These are not in any specific order, except for my number one pick is Wi-Fi. Same as Earl's. I don't know when Earl got into that. I found Wi-Fi just when I was first getting into crypto. I didn't invest in it at the time, but I just Googled, is there any cryptos that's been higher than Bitcoin? And that popped up. And I'm like, whoa, this says an all-time high of like 93 or something $1,000. I'm like, my goodness, why is everybody so gung-ho? I didn't know anything about Bitcoin. It's like, why is everybody so gung-ho about Bitcoin? This thing's done a lot higher than it. And so that was always in my mind. And after trading in the meme coins that everybody told me to buy and everything, and I started researching and figuring out crypto, I'm still coming back to Wi-Fi, and it's showing signs that it's going to do it again. So I think Wi-Fi is gonna skyrocket in this next bull market.
Yearn Finance, guys. That's Yearn Finance, YFI. Number one pick for
Yeah.
Nash. What's your
And
number two?
then I have well, these are not in any specific order, but Crow, the
Yep.
crypto.com coin.
Okay.
Uh, Crow is building so fast. You know, they've got a stadium, they've got all kinds of projects going on. They're doing very well. All right. Providing the SEC stays out of their business, um, they're going to keep flourishing. And uh, now with Binance and all that, there are people looking for other cryptos with the Binance situation. Some of them are flowing into crypto.com because there's a lot of people like me when I started, didn't know what exchange to use, so they're going to be looking around and, they might not be sending much over there, maybe a few $100, a few $1,000, whatever, but they might find crypto.com and switch everything over to there. So I think that they're going to flourish off the whole Binance incident as well. Their coin was, I can't remember if it was like 89 cents at one time, something like that. And in the last bull market, and I think they will surpass that this time. And they're not much right now, maybe 10, 12 cents. I haven't even looked at it in a while. I just keep that hidden back. I got a few thousand of them.
Nice.
I think that that will be a gold winner for some people.
All right. What else?
Gala.
Gal.
Gala Games. I'm still. They have changed up the way they operate. They are releasing more coins at this point, but they still have the ability to do very well in this bull market. They have a lot going on in their company. They've been around for a while. They've positioned themselves to be leading in the Web3 gaming. Gaming is a huge industry. People don't understand how much money is pumped into the gaming industry. And I do think that they could still surpass their all-time high. And I think they could possibly hit I'm not even going to quote it because their system is a little bit different. Uh, but I think that they're going to do well. Next, XRP.
XRP.
XRP, I still think is going to do well. There's a lot going on with XRP. They've pretty much beaten the SEC. They have a lot of ability to do. Who knows when the FedNow program's fully implemented? In my opinion, they're going to use the Ripple network. Uh, there, there's I mean, it is the banker's coin. So I think that Ripple has the ability. I don't know how high they're going to go, but I know they're going to spike pretty well. Another one is a fairly new coin. I think this is a fairly new coin. There's a couple that I just got into recently. I just found this coin a couple weeks ago called Aurora.
Aurora.
Mhm. And I think it's going to do very well in this bull market.
Okay.
Next is another. What's
Which
that?
you've given us 5 so far.
Yep. Next one is another one that Earl is into. Actually, I found this one through Earl. It's Ordinals.
Ordinals.
Ordinals has a
Ordinals.
low supply, and like Wi-Fi, Wi-Fi has an even lower supply, so it could do insane amounts. But Ordinals, I believe, has the same exact as Bitcoin. I think it's like 21 million.
Right.
Yeah. So it has potential to do great things in their whole system. Next, I have Render. All right. Render is something that I first heard about on from a guy named Calvin on TikTok. And then I started researching it. The whole ISO 20022. I don't know. I always get that wrong. And it's wrapped into that whole system. and then I have H bar,
Okay.
Hedera H bar.
All right.
Yeah.
That's 8.
Um, and then one you're probably not expecting is Leash, also known as the Doge Killer.
What's it
It's
called?
affiliated Leash.
Leash.
Mhm.
Leash. Leash.
It's it's affiliated with Shiba Inu.
Okay.
It's wrapped into their whole shibarium. It's kind of a little complicated how it works, but they have a very low supply. I think their all-time high was like 9 grand or 8,500, something like that. If I'm not mistaken. I'd have to look that up. Don't quote me on it, but it was pretty high, and right now it's sitting at like $300, and they've got a pretty low supply.
Nice.
Another one is Quant.
Ooh.
Um, yeah, Quant's overledger system is going to, um, in my opinion, revolutionize the whole way everything works. Um, Quant, the last I checked on it was a couple weeks ago, maybe a week ago. It was sitting at like 100, between 100 and 115 bucks, somewhere around there. Um, I think it has capabilities of doing crazy numbers. Um, I believe that's 10. I did not mention your personal favorite Bitcoin, just because I think that one's obvious.
Yeah.
Um,
That's good.
Bitcoin is
I like the 10.
Bitcoin. Yeah, Bitcoin is the mother of all crypto. So Bitcoin obviously is going to do well, especially with the spot ETF. So I don't even think it's
Worth talking about.
no, yeah, no reason to talk about Bitcoin. It's obvious at this point.
Well, this is my next topic, and thank you for sharing your top 10. I think they're great picks. This is my next topic. I want to talk about Biden. Biden's poll numbers aren't just bad, they're getting worse. He's getting killed in the polls. What do you think about this? Does America really want Biden for another presidency? Can America can America handle another presidency of Biden, a man who just turned 81 years old?
Have you ever seen the old movie Weekend at Bernie's?
Of course. Classic.
Okay,
Love it.
that's Biden to me. Biden is Bernie. All right, like he's not really alive at this point. There's somebody like lifting up his arm and waving, like they're back here doing this. And anybody that still wants him as our next president or even president right now is just as brain dead as he is, in my opinion. Um, you know,
Tell us how you really feel, Nash.
like, like, come on, somebody take him to the old person's home, and it's time for him to, you know, be taken care of and fed from a spoon. Just
I thought you were going to say take
here
him
you
over
go.
to the barn and take care of him. Put
Well,
him.
I can't say that because technically, you can get in trouble for saying stuff like
Yeah,
that.
we don't want to say that.
Um, but yeah, I mean, it's time. Somebody needs to put him in his little hospital bed, and stick some Jello in his mouth every once in a while.
Oh man, that's good. I agree with you 100%. So my next question for you, and this is a personal question, is where do you see the market going next year? We going up? We going down? We staying the same? Where are we going?
Well, we will be in a full-fledged bull market. It is definitely going up. I mean, we got the halving cycle happening sometime in March. Some people say the 27th, some people say the 24th. Depends on the blocks, how all that works. I don't get too much into the technical side of that because I'm not computer savvy. But you know, it's the cycle of Bitcoin. It's the cycle of cryptocurrency. It is going up, and it could reach unprecedented numbers with the possible trillions of dollars that might be invested because of the whole spot ETFs, the whole people getting into the metaverse, all kinds of things, getting coins that are affiliated with that, and We don't know how high it can go. I mean, there's all kinds of, you can look up all kinds of YouTube videos on price predictions for this and that. And the, the fact is, we don't know. This has never happened. BlackRock has never applied for a spot ETF on Bitcoin. I can only base my numbers off of what the history is, what happens every 4 years. And I see Bitcoin, going into 2025 at, 180,000 possibly. I see
Wow.
YFI doing better than that.
Wow.
I see if Bitcoin hits 180, I see YFI hitting 200.
Wow. All right. All right. Well, hey, listen, hey, from your lips to God's ears, brother. I hope it happens because I'm holding my Bitcoin and I'm holding it tight. So I really hope that you're right there. Now, this is my next
Numerically in between 120 and 180 for Bitcoin.
love it.
That's where I'm at.
All right. So my next question is, this year has been the year of the Magnificent Seven. On the screen right now, you can see the 7 biggest companies in the world, all of which have performed really, really well. Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Nvidia, Meta, Tesla, and Google. Now, last year, I bought 4 of these stocks when they dipped. I bought Google, Tesla, Amazon, and Apple. And this year, I sold all 4, made money on all 4. And after I sold, they all went even higher. All 7 of these have pretty much led the way in the stock market. My question for you is this. Even though these are really, really high, are these going to keep going up next year? Because if they keep going up next year, then that means that we're going to have a really, really strong year in the stock market. Or are these going to go down like they did last year? Because a lot of times these stocks that go up have to go down so they can go up again. What do you think? They're calling these the Magnificent Seven this year. Do you think that these 7 continue to go higher, even though most of them are trading around all-time highs and 52-week highs?
I think there's definitely going to be a dip. There could be a pretty significant, well, not pretty significant, but there could be a pretty noticeable dip coming into December. I mean, a lot of people like to spend money during Christmas, so they take out some of their stocks and stuff like that. But I think they will continue to grow. I mean, especially Apple. Apple's the biggest company there is, right? Like, I mean, they're up there. So it's going to keep booming. I mean, the more money that's going to be pushed into the crypto market, the more money. Like when I research cryptos, I also look at some stocks that could be affiliated with them, as everybody should. I mean, if you're looking into the metaverse, then you're looking into cryptos that are affiliated with the metaverse. Apple happens to be one of them. If you're buying all kinds of things. So there's a lot of companies out there that, like Apple, Roblox, things like that, that I think will do very well and keep on climbing. Because they have large investments into the metaverse and everything else. Apple is not going to try and slow down, that's for sure. Although I think that Samsung makes better products, the Apple's going to keep growing. If there's one thing about it, Apple is really good at advertising. So the Magnificent Seven there, they're all very good, very strong companies. I think they're going to continue to grow. I don't think they're going to have any problems whatsoever.
I agree with you. I think that last year when they dipped, I was like so excited. I bought them all. I bought 4 of the 7 and they all did well and I made money on all 4. But the thing is, these are companies that I think are too big to fail. So
Yeah.
with companies that are too big to fail, like Bitcoin, I believe that every dip is a buying opportunity. I think you have to treat it as such. If there's a dip in these picks, just like Bitcoin and Ethereum, that's your chance to buy. And that's the way you need to treat it. All right, we're running out of time. We got like 5 minutes left. So I got a couple questions left before we get by. So let's bang these off. How did you come up with the nickname Nash Cowboy?
Actually, I didn't. I was driving Uber, and there was a group of us Uber drivers that used to get together, and There was this girl, and I seen her on the social media app Live Me, and I was like, I was just like looking, and I was like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm on this app called Live Me, and and she muted herself, and she's showing it to me, and she's like, you should get on here. The people around here love you. People on here will love you too. And I was like, these people are, and she explained to me that people were gifting her like these virtual diamonds and she was making money off of it. And I was like, that's stupid. And then she's like, no. She's like, here, I'll even make your account for you. And everybody around there had already started calling me Nash Cowboy. So I did not come up with the name. It was Uber drivers, it was passengers, uh, all kinds of things. So she downloaded the app for me. She put my name in there, everything. And ironically, I never talked to her again after that. I don't know why, but I never seen her again. She did come into my broadcast every once in a while, but I got on social media and broadcasted. And I was like, this is stupid. And I forgot I even had the app. And then like 6 months later, I got back on it and I started watching broadcasters. And I was like, these people are actually making some money here. Like I seen how much they were getting gifted, and I was like, I'm gonna give this a shot again. But at first, I was just gifting people. At the time, I had had an excessive amount of money then, and I started spending a bunch of money on the app just with people that I liked, that made me laugh, whatever. And then I started broadcasting, and I kept the name Nash Cowboy throughout everything. And it's really just it's who I am. So
You are
I'll keep it.
definitely Nash Cowboy. I think it's the perfect name for you.
Yeah.
All right, let's go into the next subject here. So these are like the last two topics. So this one here, the stock market has been going up for 4 weeks straight. This is what we call a Santa Claus rally. We are literally 1 month to the day away from Christmas. Nash, does this continue? Do we continue having a Santa Claus rally all the way until the end of the year? What do you think?
Again, I think with Christmas coming, I do think it's very possible that, I mean, I don't have a crystal ball, but I think it's very possible that some people sell off some crypto or some stocks to just have a nice Christmas, especially if they've been going up and they're going to profit off of it. Wise investors would take some profits and sell the stocks and do what they can with it. Uh, a lot of people have been struggling for a long time, and it may be about to that point where they sell off uh, just to be in the green and take some profits. That's my personal
Okay.
opinion, but then they'll come back. They'll come right back.
Yeah, I think that that's a really good way to look at it. And my last question for you personally, and then we got one more topic before we say goodbye. We only got a couple minutes left. What got you into social media?
That was it. I was in Nashville, seeing that girl broadcasting, and then like at the time I was going through a divorce. Okay, and I
Yeah.
needed it. Like I needed an escape from that because I realized, this girl's not going to quit cheating on me. Several people, and I need to get away from things where I don't have to think about it right now because it's going to drive me into the ground. And so when I started broadcasting, I had it set in my head, like, I'm a single dad of six. Like, who's going to want that? And I found out really quick that, hey, I'm not just this old guy that his life's over now. There is possibility out there. Um, Hooked up with a Brazilian. I had a beautiful Brazilian girlfriend for a few years, and went over to Brazil, had a lot of fun. And that's what got me into social media. And I found out that like there's a lot more world out there that I had forgotten about. And it gave me what I needed to get by. And now it's just part of who I am. Like, I am a social media broadcaster. I don't know what I would do if I wasn't a social media broadcaster. I still do all the things I did before, but it's become part of me. As we get older, we grow, and everything in life makes us who we are. And now that's just part of who I am. I'm Nash.
You are Nash Cowboy, and you are definitely a broadcaster, my friend. Last question, last topic. So there was a potential terror threat on the Canadian-US border this week on the day before Thanksgiving. So this was on the Rainbow Bridge, which is on the New York-Canada border. And initially, Fox was reporting that it was a terrorist attack. Then they changed the story, and nobody knows if it's true or not, to a car crash. Did you hear about this? And if so, do you think this is a conspiracy theory? Do you think there's more to the story? Because it was really weird that first it was a terrorist attack, and then afterwards it said, no, 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 no terrorist attack. It was just a car accident.
Um, well, I'm always on the side of conspiracy, and I need
I
some
know
new
you are.
conspiracy. I need some new conspiracies because all my other ones have come true, and they're not conspiracy theory anymore. They're conspiracy fact. So, yes, I think there's more to this than what they're saying. If it wasn't a terrorist attack, why? Um, there was people that said that they seen them doing a bunch of just going around in circles really fast before they did that. Um, I don't know. That's just one of the stories I heard. I did see the video footage of them going airborne over there. What would make a married couple, evidently it was a married couple, do that? Like, what? It's not like they would just try and drive
And
in
apparently
something
it was
to,
like a really expensive car in a Bentley. You see
yeah.
anyone run off the ramp in a Bentley and crash to their death in
Yeah,
a
there,
in a huge
there's definitely
fireball? Like,
there's definitely more to it. I don't know.
doesn't add up.
It might
Something's
not
not
have
right about
even. I'm on this conspiracy side enough to say it might not have even been them in the car.
it. Yeah, it
They
just to
they
me it
they
doesn't.
may they may have been gone long before that car incident happened. That's
Yeah,
my personal opinion. I told you something was going to happen. I felt it like something was going to happen right near Thanksgiving with it coming up. And there's some other things that, just weird stuff happens during holidays like that. We got a lot of stuff going on in this world. I think there's a lot more to be seen, a lot more crazy stuff's going to happen. Uh, Bible says, if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and turn from their wicked ways, I will heal their nation. And we need to get back to that. We need to get back to some prayer. Our nation needs some healing. So, whatever this particular case is, I don't know. They're hiding something, but whatever it is, we still need our nation needs some healing. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on.
I agree with you 100%. Nash Cowboy, thank you for joining us for the Bull and Bear Show, episode number 27 with Nash Cowboy one-on-one. Remember, Rich TV Live and the Bull and Bear Show is strictly for information and education purposes. Please do your due diligence and do your research whenever you're thinking about investing in anything we talk about and discuss. Remember, myself and Nash Cowboy, we can't sit there and hold these assets up for you. Nash gave you his top 10 picks. He's an investor just like you and just like me. We cannot guarantee that these assets are going to go higher, despite the fact that we've been right about Bitcoin. We've been right about Ethereum. We've been right about a lot of stocks this year that have been going up. And we've been telling you about it. We can't guarantee it will continue, but we believe with Bitcoin halving coming and with Bitcoin ETFs coming, that there's a lot of catalysts that can drive this market higher. Nash Cowboy, anything you want to say before we say goodbye, my friend?
Buckle up, Buttercup. It's going to be a bumpy ride, but let's grab the bull by the horns and make a bag of money.
That's Nash Cowboy. I'm going to have a description to his YouTube in the bottom of this video. So go and follow him, subscribe to his channel, follow him all over social media. The man is on a mission. Like he said, he's got 6 kids and he's not stopping until he hits all of his goals. And I know his goals are very, very big. So we look forward to working with you, Nash Cowboy, and achieving those goals together, my friend. And I know independently you're going to do great things as well. So thank you guys for watching. I'm your host of the most, your boy Rich from Rich TV with the Bull and Bear Show and Nash Cowboy saying, have a nice day. We'll see you next week.
Cheers.